Death and departing are emotionally moving occurrences in anyone's life. This has made people do strange things with graves, and we are here to take a look at the strangest of all in the world. Here are the top 10 strangest graves in the world, and you will be amazed by the end of this video.
Welcome to Hear This. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Number 10. A grave with a staircase. In 1872, when a young girl died, her mother was depressed for leaving her alone in the grave. She made a staircase alongside the grave that went straight to the coffin. The girl used to be afraid of the storms. So, whenever there is a storm, the mother goes into the grave and comforts her girl in the coffin. Number 9. Hanging coffins. This is a strange practice in the Philippines and some parts of China and Indonesia. When a person dies, his coffin is made from wood and hung by wooden planks on the face of a cliff. The ancient wisdom behind this practice is that hanging coffins protects them from the animals and insects in the ground. The wood eventually rots, and the coffin has to fall anyway. Turns out, ancient wisdom is not that wise after all. Sometimes the wooden planks are built by the deceased himself during his life, which makes this hanging cemetery all the stranger. Number 8. Hands shaking lovers in Holland. Colonel Van Corkum and Lady Van Efferden got married in a scandalous situation. Efferden was a Catholic, while Colonel was a Protestant. She knew that when she would die, she would be buried in a Catholic cemetery. She wrote in her will to bury her right next to the wall closest to her husband's grave. A monument has been built on the wall that divides the two cemeteries. The monument, shaking hands, shows that love actually never dies, even after death. Number 7. The grave of Timothy Clark Smith. During the 18th and the 19th centuries, there was news that people reportedly dead and buried had woken up in their coffins. This was happening to those who died of the Lazarus syndrome, where circulation resuscitates after the doctor has declared the death of the individual. The coffin would show scratch marks in the face of the dead contorted with fear. Timothy Smith was a doctor, and he designed his grave to make sure that the same doesn't happen to him. There was a bell and an air tube that came to the surface to provide sufficient oxygen. There was a rectangular window so that people could actually see his body through the coffin. When Smith was buried, he had actually died, but the safety precautions made his grave one of the strangest in the world. Number 6. The glass coffin of Francesca Lombardo. When a 2-year-old girl died of pneumonia in 1920, her father contacted a chemist to mummify and embalm his daughter's body. Alfredo Salafia mummified the body and encased it in a transparent glass coffin. The parents were able to see their daughter sleep in peace, with her skin as fresh and pink as it would have been when she was alive. Rosilia's body is one of the best preserved mummies in the world, and is placed in the Calpicine catacombs in Palermo. It has now been transferred to a nitrogen chamber to preserve it further. Number 5. The Chase Family Vault. Chase family of England bought a vault, which was originally built in 1724. When their little daughter, Marianne, died, she was the first one from the family to be buried there. Only after a short while did her sister Dorcas also die and was buried in the same vault. The girl's father, Thomas Chase, died a month after, and he had to be buried there too. But when the vault was opened, the coffins were thrown from their sealed positions without any signs of entry or breakage. Coffins were arranged and sealed, and Thomas Chase was buried. When the vault was reopened, they discovered the same. It happened 2 times before they finally took out the coffins and buried them in a cemetery instead. To this day, nobody knows what is wrong with this family or the vault. Number 4. The MercedesBenz Grave. A Mercedes carved out from a single large stone is the final resting place of a 15-year-old boy, Raymond. He had a knack for automobiles and was about to get one in a year or so. His elder brother, who was almost 20 years older than him, had promised to get him a Mercedes on his 17th birthday, right after he gets his driving license. The boy, however, died before that in a car accident. His brother, David, gifted him a Mercedes-Benz made from stone as his final resting place. Number 3. The grave that grows. The final resting place of an Old Testament prophet, Daniel, in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, is 18 feet long. This has reportedly been growing for centuries. The legend goes that Timur, a Mongol leader, had brought the remains of the prophet here and made a tomb for good luck. He had extended the tomb to protect it from the robbers who could try to steal the precious body. The 18-foot-long grave is definitely one of its kind in the world. Number 2. A grave that is an optical illusion of a carpet. When the legendary ballet dancer Rudolph died, he was buried with a pair of ballet shoes. He was an avid collector of luxury carpets and tapestries, and so his gravestone had to be a display of that. The gravestone looks like it is a bright red Turkish carpet with intricate designs and patterns, but when you look closely, it is just an assortment of mosaic tiles crafted in the best form to give the effect of the folds and curves. Number 1. The Staring Grave. This strange grave is of a famous actor and musician, Fernand Orbello, who died in 1942. He insisted that his gravestone should be made into a monument of his with his wife's face right in front of him. This bronze gravestone has made history with love, as it looks exactly like how he wanted. Orbello is still staring at his wife, with her face in his hands. Share with us in the comments, which of the strangest graves in the world did you find the most unbelievable? Do you have weirder ideas?